A very interesting backdrop of zip codes before this presentation by Anna Deavere Smith. Some zip codes I am not familiar with. Well, we will find out before the evening is over. Now, exactly what's the name of the piece?
6 feet between here and there.
6 feet between. Why that?
It's about quarantine. It's about COVID and being 6 feet apart physically, but also hypothetically.
Anyone else on the subject?
Yeah, like physically 6 feet apart, that was, because everyone had to keep a safe distance. But the here and there part comes from the fact that we're all in different places experiencing it.
So I got the message that you were quarantined. What were you trying to, what message are you sending in this play to the viewers?
I think we really wanted people to understand how everyone was able to connect, even despite the fact that we were all apart physically. Having experienced something all at the same time, I think allowed connection in a way that is really unique.
I noticed there were zip codes. How did you come up with these zip codes?
So we decided to pick different counties and then conduct interviews from people from those counties. And so the zip codes are based off the different counties that we interviewed. So it goes from Prince George's County to Howard County, and then Anne Arundel County, Montgomery County, and then D.C.
No Baltimore.
I know.
Now tell me about that.
We ended up picking the places that we were from, and so it was our hometowns, and so we kind of created that based on that, and none of us are really from Baltimore.
Whoa. No, I am from Baltimore. Okay, I worked on D.C. I have a close friend in D.C. that is in D.C. That's okay. Baltimore native.
Is this going to go elsewhere besides the university?
I think we have to talk about it. We've been so swamped with rehearsals for this specific event. We haven't actually talked about anything moving forward. But we've all worked together really well and really enjoyed it. So maybe.
So we look forward to seeing you coming to Baltimore. You add another zip code.
Exactly. 6th zip code.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you
so much. Thank you.
All right. Well, tell me, what's your name?
My name is Nigel Samaj.
And what do you do here at the university?
I am an assistant professor of performance in the theater department. So I teach our BFA acting and I teach our devising and theater studies courses.
What part did you have to play with 6 feet apart?
Mostly as an advisor and mentor. The point of devising in class is for the students to lead those, to allow their creative artistic visions to come through. And so there were a lot of projects that they did on their own and then received feedback. So I would read a script, give them some feedback, watch a thing, give them some feedback. But I was not behind creating it or giving ideas. It was really a space, me providing them with a space to create freely and giving them inspirations, reading Anna Deavere Smith's work, reading other documentary theater work, watching documentary theater, watching documentaries, and then sending them off on their own, also pairing them with guest artists to talk about journalism, how to do interviews, and then give them a lot of responsibility and see what comes out of it. And I think this was a great example of what our youth can do when they're given the opportunity, the space, and the resources to create work.
I asked them the trick question. Why was the city of Baltimore left out? Do you have an answer?
I do have a answer. The challenge in this course was to get students to do work outside of this campus, to engage with material, and they weren't actually quite forthcoming about it. They did talk to some folks. It's just what made it into the piece may not have been that. So they conducted I don't even know how many interviews, but ultimately they were charged to present a 15-minute piece at the end of class. And so what they had finished at that point was there. One of our creators is a Baltimore native, and so there are some of their interview pieces in there. And inspirations are in there, but ultimately we can only do a class in 16 weeks, and they had about 4 weeks to create it, and so it just happened that it didn't come out fully into fruition. The two other components of the class, the two other projects in the class, did have some components of Baltimore, and so I'm hoping, I'm from DC originally, and so I'm hoping, and I have family from Baltimore, so I'm hoping in the future of doing classes like this, I can get students away from the bubble that is UMBC and out into the art scene and into the world that is Baltimore.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm at UMBC, Baltimore County, and I'm awaiting a performance or rather a conversation between Anna Deavere Smith, who was born here in Baltimore, and a professor or dean of arts here at UMBC, Kimberly R. Muffet, Dr. Muffet. So I'm looking forward to looking at the performance. We're going to have an introduction by a group of students and then Anna herself being interviewed. Stay tuned.
To try to make it better. Skip 2, Western, was an extraordinary experience, a life-changing experience where I think because of the older black woman named S.E.N. Hughes, who actually taught my parents' generation, black woman taught Latin, was one of the vice principals, and the other vice principal was disabled, a man, a white man. I think right there, that leadership helped us become, as Western young ladies, a kind of a community, an ideal community, and a compassionate community, so it changed. But I thank Baltimore both for the great feeling of needing to close distance and for the sensory experiences that I had here.
And it sounds like that sensory experience actually helped to craft your commitment around social justice in some of the work that you do.
Yes, and also because my latest play, written in the form that these wonderful students practiced and showed us, Notes from the Field, was about the school to prison pipeline, and it was through writing that I recalled and remembered that my mother was a teacher, all her friends were teachers, all my aunts for the most part were teachers, and so these were race women. These were the women, black women, that's what they could do with an education, being in those days, the 50s, right, be a teacher or a nurse, who were dedicated to making sure every single child, when that next generation was going to go further. My mother would not let somebody out of the 6th grade without being able to read. So these great big 13-year-old boys would be sitting at our dining room table, and writing about the school to prison pipeline, I was reminded of that commitment, that value of staying with your community and bringing it forward. That's what a race woman was. I realized, well, that's what I've been trained to be.
And as you talked about Baltimore, you're from Baltimore. What do you think Baltimore needs now?
I don't know enough about it to say. I mean, I'm very happy about the governor. I say even though I no longer live here. I don't know. You know, it'd be really presumptuous for me to say what Baltimore needs.
Okay. I heard you said that you're doing something on Western, the school.
Yeah, Western High School, yeah. Some girls from there.
Yeah. Can you give any more elaborate comment on what this is going to be about?
Well, I'm interested in how young women survive. And look, Western High School is sort of the perfect place. It's the oldest public all-girls school in the country. It has survived since the 19th century with all the changes. And I'm proud to be a Dove. And the former principal, Michelle White, was always trying to get me to come there and do something with the girls. So I jumped on the opportunity. And yeah.
So this is going to be a movie?
A documentary film.
Yeah. And you don't have the name yet for it, do you?
No.
Okay.
No name.
Well, any idea how soon?
Probably 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you.